Hello and welcome to TAA Conversations on Art and Peace. Today we are honored to welcome Saype, a pioneering French artist who has redefined the boundaries of contemporary art through his monumental biodegradable land art. Born Guillaume Leroux in 1989, Saype is renowned for his large-scale works created directly on natural landscapes across the globe. His signature series, Beyond Walls, features interlocked hands painted on grass, earth, and sand, symbolizing unity and solidarity. This ambitious project has spanned over 30 cities worldwide, including Paris, Berlin, Geneva, New York, Dubai, and Nairobi, forming a metaphorical human chain that transcends borders and cultures. Saype's works are temporary in nature, designed to gradually disappear, yet they carry a lasting message. Using a biodegradable paint he developed himself, he ensures that his art leaves no trace on the earth, only in the minds of those who encounter it. His commitment to environmental sustainability and social connection earned him recognition on Forbes 30 Under 30 in art and culture. Saype's practice deeply aligns with the mission of the Art Association. To encourage peaceful engagement through art, his work reminds us that peace begins with connection to each other and to the earth. Saype, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much to welcome me.
Saype, I'd like to jump right in and ask you the question, could you share your journey into art and what led you to this unique approach of land-based biodegradable painting?
Oh, it's a long journey today. I mean, I'm 36 years old and I started to paint when I was 14. And for me, it's very, very funny because I wasn't, I didn't get born in a family who get like interesting in art. You know, I was like, I never been in a art gallery. I was more interested by making sport and going outside than making art. And when I was 14 years old, I met people who made like canvas in holidays. I was outside with my parents and I saw people just doing art outside in the street. And I was like so interesting in this technique. And when I came back home, I bought like 100 spray cans and canvas, and I start to learn by myself. And then little by little, I start to be fascinated by the artistic world. You know, like going to galleries, to museum, and to I felt like it was a beautiful tool to spread messages and poetry in the world. And this is how I jump into art. Then, when I was 18 years old, my mom said, no way to become an artist. Please find a real job. So I started to become a nurse for several years and I start to have two jobs in a way, artist and nurse. And I start to have, I always linked my art with, I would say, social questioning that I have. You know, my art was always linked with philosophy, with questioning that I have on the society, on myself, you know. So for me, art is not just an aestheticism or something like that. It's something that you can move barriers in the society. So for me, it's more a tool to make think people than just a thing that you put on the wall. So I always link art with question, with like a tool to move
Boundaries.
lines, yeah,
Yes.
boundaries. So then in 2012, this is how I jumped in the land art field. My idea was, all right, if I really want to impact society, I need to find a way to impact people. And I thought that, you know, street art was too much. We have too many information in our city. You know, you go in the city, you have street art, you have publicity, you have light everywhere. So the attention of the people is too much. You know, how would you say that? You have too many information. You can't see everything. So I was living in a neighborhood all surrounded by grass in a little village which is 200 people. And I thought, all right, I will, if I do something new and something that people never seen before, I will find a way to grab the attention of the people, you know. And in the same time, drones arrived in Europe. It was around 2012. And I thought, all right, I will use art in nature. If I want my approach to make sense, I need to find an eco-friendly way for making it happen. And I will use drone to make the final picture of it. So for me, it was like an approach where I take some old school stuff, you know, the charcoal and the wood charcoal and the chalk is old school stuff, but I will use the new technology to record it. And I was in love in this kind of bridges that I do with the time, you know. And then for 3 years, I developed the recipe, the technique, and in 2015 was my very first artwork in French arts. And then little by little, I think I make a link between my past as a nurse, that for me means taking care of people in a way. Then I need to take care about nature because I will paint on nature. And then I start to make the bridges between what I'm trying to do today. That means using art to spread messages of hope, of unity all around the world, and trying to minimize my impact as a human being on nature, but to maximize my impact on society. And I love that, you know, the balance between both.
Sape, I've had the pleasure of spending a great deal of time in that French-Swiss border area where you grew up.
Yeah,
Nature is abound. It's beautiful there.
true.
And your explanation of your evolution and the way you perceived cities as perhaps visually confusing, overloaded, uh,
Yeah,
having the background that you had growing up, you would have been more sensitive to that. And then coupled with your training in nursing, which is all about helping people, um, you give us more insight into the evolution of Saype and how you evolved into the artist that you are today with these monumental installations that you make. It's much more clearer now. Thank you, Saype. It really.
thank you. You know, when I see me, like, you know, an outside view than me, it's very funny because the way I live today, it's a construction from my childhood, my passion before, my job as a nurse. I used to make a lot of sport. And you know, today my lander stuff is very physical. I need to make sometimes 25 kilometers a day to paint. So it's combination. Then, as you said, I was like living in the nature, which is beautiful here. It's just amazing. You go outside and you feel nature. So today, as an artist, I'm the combination of all this stuff for sure. It's very logical.
So your work is created in these open spaces.
Yeah,
You virtually take over those open spaces, whether they be in the country or in the middle of a city, and gradually this work fades away. How does this temporary nature reflect your thoughts on peace, change, and the idea of lasting impact?
my I love the the image of my painting. We will disappear little by little, and I always make the link that our lives are ephemeral as well. We are guests on our planet for 70 years. And for me, and I think again, it was something that I thought a lot when I was a nurse. Because when I was a nurse, you start to be directly linked with death. You see people suffering, you see death.
Yes.
And when you are 18 years old, it's very moving. You're very moved by what you see, and you start to thought, as a human being, what traces I will let on earth. And this is today, as an artist, what traces I will let on earth when I
Yes.
will die, when I will pass away. And this is the link that I do with ephemeral stuff. For me, we are ephemeral, my fresco are, but you will let a trace which is not touchable. You will let memories, you will let something on earth, and it will belong to us or to you to know what you will let. And for me, my art is all about that. I will try to, I will always stand for peace and togetherness more than division. And my art will let, hopefully, traces around peace and togetherness. This is the goal that I have.
And they
So,
say that as long as we are remembered, we
yeah,
exist. And in your case, the thousands of people across a multitude of cultures, the oneness that you've created by your enormous frescoes will have a lasting impact well beyond the 70 years that you statistically mentioned in terms of life.
hopefully. Thank you. Hopefully.
So, um, in your view, can art influence peace?
Totally. I mean, I really think that the artist needs to be a pillar of this kind of question. Because, first of all, the art go beyond the walls of languages. You don't have any barriers of language. You go deeply, for me, in the soul of the people that can see art and feel it, go by a way which is very different that other way, and not only paint. I mean, for example, music can make you make thoughts very different in a different way. Music, poetry, I don't know, all forms of art. So that means for me that you can really make the people things in a different way. And the second thing is, for me, the artists are the people who think out of the box. So we need to have them in if all this question of how are the limits of our society. We see that our society today I've got a lot of limits and went in a lot of wrong way. And I think artists can help us to find other way that other people didn't thought it before. So that's why I think today arts and artists are essential on this kind of problematics. And for peace, you know, my thought today is we are living in a world which is really polarizing today. Resources are going down and peace start to going down, and we start to have new war. And even if we never left in humanity in a world which is we have like a lot of peace, but I think we are in a moment in humanity where we are changing. You know, it's like a flip, and we will have two solution. You know, sharing or fighting.
Yes.
This is, and today the scared, the fear that I have, because we are 8 billion on the planet. Never in humanity we were so much connected, you know. So we need to work together. There was, for me, we don't have other solution. It's very hard to work together because I think in Switzerland we don't have the same vision in the world that, I don't know, in South America or in South Africa or in Asia. But we need to learn to make these kind of bridges with the different culture all around the world. And I think art can help for that. And this
And in
is,
fact, it does. In
it
fact, it
does.
does. And your work is an incredible example of that. I could only bring, for example, your installation in Dubai. How many different cultures, representatives, had the opportunity to enjoy your art there, as well in New York, as well in Geneva, as well in the various different locations throughout the world? You are proactively assisting the process using the power of your art, creating oneness, breaking down barriers, bringing people together. That's a start. And that's an example that we find amongst many of our artists. And we applaud you for that. And the world scale, the world platform that appreciates and understands and shows your art and supports it. Let me ask you, Saype,
Thank you.
what projects are you working on today? Do you have something for us to look forward to that you can share with us?
So much.
Yeah, let's hear
So,
it.
you know, there was most of my project, which is my Beyond Walls project, as you said in introduction, my goal is to create the largest human chain in the world to speak about how it is important to find solution together.
Yes,
So I paint Entrelands hand like that, which is traveling city by city, country by country, to create bridges different between the the culture, different culture. Today, I'm working on USA, and my goal is to link the two coasts.
hmm.
And I will go in September, all the month in September in New York. And this is the 400th anniversary of the creation of New York City. And my idea will be to link to the five boroughs and to bring people boroughs by borough. You know, for example, to take people from the Bronx to let them go in Manhattan and to link all this borough and city, because most of the people who came in USA, there was a lot of people came by New York, you
Yes,
know, and Thailand and then New York. And the idea was to create a society based on a democracy, liberty, equality. But today we can see the limit of it because there was so a huge difference between the richest people and the poor people. There was like huge polarization in USA today.
yes,
So I'm very scared about that again, and I really think that we can help to switch it again to have a country will be more hopefully peaceful, because again USA is a dream at the beginning, and now we it's like how to say that, a dystopia
yes,
a little bit. You know, we feel that it was an utopia at the beginning, and today there is a little bit of dystopia. And this is the first project that I'm working on it. And today I will go in Hamburg to create a project to support an NGO which is working on giving water, clean water for everyone in the world.
Well,
So
Sape, your art will no doubt ignite those founding principles in the US and wherever you go. Thank you for using your art in such a proactive way for good. But I want
thank you
to ask the last question, if I may
so
say,
much.
what message would you like to share with TAA's international community of artists committed to peace through art?
I don't know why I'm to give like, but hopefully it will be inspiring. This is a goal that I have. I get inspired by many people in my artistic journey. Most of them came from the NGO field. For example, I supported SOS Méditerranée, which is an NGO who rescue migrants in the Mediterranean Sea, and they raised funds from everyone in the society, not from the government and brands. And for me, they are heroes of our time. They get time, they take their time to rescue migrants. They know it's a hard journey, but for me, it was so inspiring that made me think that much. And I start to think, imagine if I get born in a poor country in war in Africa. I would love that some people take care of me a little bit as a human being. So I really think that it's by inspiring people that we will make the world change. And for me, as an artist, I always think what kind of planet I will give to my children, and I will be able to say, as an artist, I tried to get the world better every day. And I think this is something beautiful, and I think I will help people to be inspired a little bit. And if I do, I will succeed my life. This is as an artist.
Well, you have and you will continue. Sape, thank you for sharing your insights and experiences with us. Your
Thank you.
artistic vision transforming natural landscapes into temporary yet profound symbols of unity resonates deeply with our commitment to fostering peace through art. By bridging communities and sparking dialogue, your work exemplifies the transformative power of creativity in promoting understanding and solidarity. We are grateful for your contribution to this conversation and for inspiring us to envision a more connected and peaceful world through art. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. To you, thank you. Thank you so much.
That's a cut.
That's right.